push, push, right? And then I do a toe tap, and even getting that, hear not slap, all right? That starts to give the kids confidence. And you talk about the closer they are to the foot, the less power has been generated into the ball, so the less chance there is of getting them hurt, all right? So a couple of things. So you're working in pairs with the kids and you're sort of building it up, just doing toe taps, all right? You can develop that on then into then trying to kick. Here would be ideal. You could stand here on the line, get one of them to kick for a point up on the net and the partner standing beside them. Just from a standing position, lunge and block. Over time you'd build it up where they're coming in from a couple of steps away to get their timing, or coming in from a couple of different angles.
There's two bits with blocking. One of the things is the more you give the cue for the kids, essentially their job is to go hit the ball. It's not waiting for the ball to hit them. So it's not blocking by, hopefully I'm somewhat in the right space and it's going to hit me. They're guaranteed to get a belt of the ball in the face, and someone else like, it's the end of blocking, out of here, not doing that again. Whereas if you go, you've got to hit the ball, they have to keep their eyes where they're going. The other piece with a block is it is with arms extended. So the whole point in terms from a protection point of view is that my arms are away from my body to block the ball. They're not in here. If they're in here, one, I've no power, no generate. I'm not going to generate any power to block the ball. I'm also going to end up being on top of the kid who's playing. People who execute blocks badly are where, again, they're not extended to try and get there. So they end up overshooting it and they end up blocking almost with their body in on top of the ball. It's going to hurt the other kids. We have a duty to the other kids that we're playing that we're not teaching them a bad technique that's actually going to hurt another boy doing that. And it's not going to be successful in terms of getting the ball back. So it's not trying to be in a rush at times in terms of trying to get them really comfortable, make sure they can do that really consistently and get down to the boy's foot to block the ball. So the lower you get towards it, the less force there is on that ball, so the less likely they're going to get sore fingers or sore hands, the more likely they're going to get the ball once they block it as well. Because the aim of the block is that you've stopped the shot, but also give you a chance then to pick the ball up again and move on with the play with it as well. But really getting that concept for the guys is that they're looking at what they're doing. So if you ask them to hit the ball, they have to look, okay? If it just asks them to block, they're more likely to kind of maybe turn their head to the side or turn over out of the way. The ball could go anywhere, they'll get hit anywhere, and they're not going to enjoy that. Rather than giving them a target to do that, put your foot on the ball. The guy that's kicking the ball, you need to make sure that, again, that they do the toe tap or they do kick it. What happens after a couple times when you're doing the drill is, because he's been blocked in a few times, the boy himself, he stops kicking and we just drop the ball. You can't block that. So all of a sudden the timing goes amiss and all of a sudden there's a foot coming through and there's no ball and someone has got a kick in the shoulder or a kick in the face as well. So keep making sure that they're doing the kicking. Essentially their job is to ignore the blocker. So you do a solo, you kick towards the fence, the blocker is going to come in and execute the block. But just be mindful in terms of the setup that the guys are, again, getting their hands out to block, not bringing the whole body with. And it's a natural thing for a lot of boys where they're trying to protect themselves. What they will end up doing, though, is hurting the boy who's kicking. And again, they'll overshoot that, they'll end up hurting his leg or leaning on top of him. Both of them aren't going to thank you when you're doing the blocking drill the next day again. All of a sudden they'll be going for a drink, or they'll get very tired all of a sudden and they'll be off somewhere else. But when they do get it again, particularly at this age, there's loads of opportunities to get a block because the guys have a big wind up. Anyone who's kicking the ball, he's not going to dummy solo you, he's not going to pull it back, he's kicking the ball. So there's loads of chance for the boys again to concentrate on, okay, try and get down as we try and get a block. And again, it's really rewarding for them. When they do get a block, lots of the guys, like, it's an enjoyable skill. And again, it's one of those other skill moments to really emphasize for the guys. It's as good as getting scores. There's not going to be that many scores in these games. So things like getting a good block, a dispossession, a high catch, they're real things to celebrate in terms of the game, in terms of developing them skills and them seeing the reward for doing those components of it as well. I suppose one last bit in terms of, say, just trying to, in terms of the game bit, you're somewhat constrained in the games in terms of how the other teams set up. So when we talk about kind of having defenders or a shape, there will still tend to be scrums a lot of the time because everyone ends up somewhat in one half of the pitch. But again, it's trying to encourage that sense of, space so that these are one-on-one chances that someone gets to execute. So they get a chance to execute the skill effectively and properly rather than just actually numbers dictated that actually there was 4 boys around so he couldn't kick the ball away. So don't be afraid of making the games more one-on-one. It's not to kind of, the ball may get down the other end of the pitch, that's fine. It gives them a better chance of actually learning their skills and maybe execute more effectively.